Hi, I'm Roy, and today we're going to be talking about why I voted for Biden. You may not know this, but in 2016 and 2020, in the Democratic primaries, I voted for Bernie Sanders. Bernie was the first presidential candidate I ever voted for. And though I do not like Joe Biden as much as I like Bernie, I had to choose him over Trump, obviously. I mean, there's no way in hell I would vote for someone like Donald Trump to be our president for 4 more years. Donald Trump is a train wreck, an explosion, a hurricane, all wrapped into one. He's an awful president and an awful person to be leading our country, especially right now during the coronavirus pandemic. Why would anyone who's seen the job he's done with the coronavirus think, oh, we need that man for 4 more years? He's obviously not fit for the job and not fit for federal office or any office, to be frank. Who in their right mind would want to keep Trump around for 4 more years? Certainly not me. So if you're sane and competent, you ought to vote for Joe Biden. I mean, Joe Biden's no progressive ally, but he's the best we've got. As Bernie put it, day one, if he wins, we're going to push him left. We're going to make sure Biden upholds the promises he made on the campaign trail and goes further. We're going to make sure Biden goes to the left of what he says he wants to do. We can get him to pass Medicare for all, even though he said he'd veto it if it ever came to his desk. I feel like with enough pressure, Joe Biden can be pushed toward Medicare for all. If he reads the room and knows that it's popular nationwide, he won't care as much what his donors say if the nationwide polling is trending toward Medicare for all. And with other issues such as free public college and university, I'm pretty sure Joe Biden already supports that for certain people, but he wants to means test it. We can get him to support universal college and tuition-free public university, so no one has to pay a dime, no matter their income. I remember Pete Buttigieg brought up the issue like, oh, I don't want to be paying for the tuition of rich kids. We don't means test things like Social Security, Medicare, like K through 12 education. So why means test public colleges and universities? If everyone can use it, then it gets even better. If rich kids are sending their kids to public schools, which most times they don't, but if they did, then we can make those schools better. And I feel that is important because if more people have access to college and university, then I feel the Republican Party and all these terrible ideas will slowly fade away. With education, people can see why certain beliefs are inherently flawed or certain biases are wrong. We can make the world a better place if we just get a smarter population. So Bernie's right on that front. Another way in which we can push Biden left is with marijuana and drug policy. We can take an example of what Oregon's doing right now, where they want to decriminalize all drugs. We can do something like that on the federal level and legalize, not just decriminalize marijuana and remove it as a Schedule I drug, because why? We can get Biden to support the Green New Deal, even though he wants to support something close to it, but we can get him to go outright toward the Green New Deal and legislation like that that's more aggressive in fighting climate change. Why take these half measures when we can aggressively fight climate change and build a better future for our children and grandchildren, or even just millennials like me? We're going to have to suffer through the ill effects of climate change, but old geezers like Mitch McConnell, Donald Trump, and all these Senate Republicans, they don't give a crap because it's not going to affect them. Like Dianne Feinstein, too. She had the gall to tell a room full of small children like that she would never support the Green New Deal, even though the adults in the room said they voted for her. She had the audacity to say she would never support such legislation, or that they shouldn't run and try to get it passed themselves. So, I mean, I'm ashamed personally to have Dianne Feinstein in the Senate representing me as a Californian. I'm personally ashamed that Dianne Feinstein's our senator because of the way she's acted during the Amy Coney Barrett hearings. She gave Lindsey Graham a hug. Like, what was that all about? And she thinks that Lindsey Graham conducted the hearings for Amy Coney Barrett in the best way possible. What? Lindsey Graham has done an awful job. He's a huge hypocrite. He even told us to use his words against him if ever a situation like the one with Merrick Garland arose with a Republican president, which it has. So Lindsey Graham is the world's biggest hypocrite, and you should vote for Jamie Harrison if you get the chance, if you live in South Carolina. Why would we promote someone like Lindsey Graham? And why would Dianne Feinstein, my senator, want to see Amy Coney Barrett on the bench for life, for the rest of her life? It's just sickening. I wouldn't be surprised if Dianne Feinstein voted to confirm Amy Coney Barrett as a Supreme Court justice. It just seems in line with her pattern of behavior. It just makes me sad that Trump has had the opportunity to appoint more judges in his one term than Democrats have in the last 25 years. We've had so far Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Kagan, and then all the way back to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Merrick Garland never got a hearing in the Senate. So, I mean, Mitch McConnell is just a ghoul. He'll do anything to maintain power. You should vote for Amy McGrath, by the way. Who knows what's happening with his hands? I have no idea if he's okay or not. Mitch McConnell looks like he's being overtaken by some demon with those hands. I mean, I hope he's okay, but he doesn't really deserve our sympathy, does he? So, you get the chance to vote for Amy McGrath in Kentucky. And I think big tech, we just need to rein them in all ways that we can. An example would be Uber and Lyft. Right now in California, they're sponsoring a proposition, Prop 22, to basically hold themselves accountable, the way I see it, like to not have to give their employees benefits. So if you live here in California, no 122. The reason being, it would take a 7/8 majority in the state legislature to overturn Prop 22 if passed. And it's terrible for rideshare drivers and app-based drivers. It would leave them as independent contractors and essentially guarantee that they get no protections or nothing near what regular employees get. If you haven't voted already, please vote by November 3rd. Your vote is key to getting people like Donald Trump out of office. And if we could get people like Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell out of office too, that would just be the icing on the cake. And I'm glad that we have people like Jamal Bowman, Cori Bush, and returning Congress people like AOC, Ilhan Omar, and Rashida Tlaib going to Congress. We need strong progressive voices in the Congress to fight against the two-headed demon, as Nina Turner puts it, of neoliberalism and neo-fascism. Thank you, and thanks for listening.